Angelica, dear hello, and I want to record you an audio review. I came to you for help with a whole list of different conditions, problems, and issues that I wanted to resolve. The first of these was anxiety. I used to bite my finger quite often. My thumb. What has changed? I've become calmer, I stopped winding myself up, and I started sleeping better. I stopped having those anxious, unfounded thoughts. I hardly bite my finger anymore. It seems to me that only a little bit of the physical habit remains. The second issue was guilt. Like I'm a bad mom, I'm doing something wrong. For example, I could be spending time with my kids, but instead I'm doing my own things. No matter how much I worked on it, it was always there in the background. I used to worry about it. But again, after our session together, it just disappeared. To be honest, I don't even remember what it felt like anymore. Now I come to my children happy, satisfied, energetic, and fulfilled. Kids need a resourceful, awesome mom who loves them, not one who's sitting with her phone in one hand or suffering because she's having a hard time. I've stopped blaming myself about this. Next, perfectionism. Here I'll say that after the session, things became really easy for me, and I just calmly went to the shopping mall. Usually I dress up, put on makeup, and worry about what people will think of me when I go there, but that day it didn't happen. I absolutely didn't care. I felt completely confident. I finally submitted my thesis, and I didn't try to perfect it to the absolute ideal like I would have before. I turned it in as it was, they accepted my work, and now I'm just waiting for the result. The feeling of insecurity. I don't even remember what that is anymore. Overall, I feel normal, at ease. Yes, maybe there are some moments when I can get shaken up, but I also associate those with planetary conditions, solar flares, and so on. That's really how it is. I started to track this. I realized that my state is indeed influenced by various higher structures, so to speak. Attachment to past events. Here too, it's like it was cut off for me. I remember how I used to often recall living in Moscow, living in Sochi. I missed that period a lot, and sometimes I wanted to drop everything and leave. It even got to that point. Now I remember those times with joy and ease, and I live in the here and now. I try my best to focus on today and on what I want in the future. By the way, my trust in the present moment has started to open up more, just like my sensitivity is opening up. I've started having various dreams, and my states have become more sensitive. I pick up on certain signs and words from the environment. When I work with clients, I often end up speaking in their words, which is very surprising both for me and for them. I often get goosebumps. When certain things happen, my body reacts immediately. The primary focus is on myself, my body, and my desires. Yes, I've started treating myself more gently. I've separated and balanced work, rest, and learning. Let me talk about my state before and after the session. It definitely changed. Sometimes it was difficult, including physically. A couple of times I spent the whole day just lying down and resting, but with each session it became easier and easier. Also during the sessions, the physical sensations gradually faded away. At first they were very noticeable, but as we progressed they became less and less so. The stability of my state after finishing the work satisfies me 100%. Yes, I am a living person, I have emotions, I have certain moments, certain outbursts, but to say that like before I fall into apathy or panic, or that I start doing some kind of inexplicable activity that brings no results and has nothing to do with the matter at hand, I can't say that anymore. I also want to mention the new changes that have happened in my life, which I did not expect. My husband and I moved into a great big house for our whole family. We went on a mini trip to another country, and we rented the car I wanted. My husband gave me an amazing surprise for my birthday. I had a great birthday celebration with my friends, something I had never done before. Well, maybe the last time was when I was about 20. There have actually been a lot of changes. I continued my studies to become a cognitive behavioral therapist, completed my training at the Institute of Psychology of Creativity, spent time with children, myself and my husband, and I am completely satisfied with that. Unlike before, I no longer beat myself up for not doing anything and just relaxing. When I had the energy, I studied. When I had the energy, I worked. When I had the energy, I played with the kids and so on, taking turns. Basically, I stopped beating myself up about wasting time, allowed myself to rest, and let myself watch what I wanted, not just things that were necessarily useful. I believe that you were as engaged as possible in our work, as interested as possible. I really like that before each session, we would check in with each other, get on the same page, and decide what we would work on next and what results had already been achieved. That was very important to me. You absolutely know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And the process for me may have been difficult at times, but you handled everything very carefully, calmly, and confidently. I really like that. My opinion on the price to quality ratio of the services provided, I can say that everything here was fulfilled 100%. My husband laughs, but I said that my life is divided into before and after before meeting Angelica and after. That's really how it is. There are very few such events in my life. I would even say this is the second event in my life where I can say that This transformation was that powerful, that strong for me, but at the same time it now feels as if it has always been this way for me and that I have always lived like this. To be honest, I expected that I would have much more anxiety or worry about it. I thought there would be some scary things, yes, but that's just our brain. It scares us. But the whole truth is that it's enough to clear your own path, remove all these limitations and get your results. I will gladly recommend your services to other people. And moreover, I always do that. I talk about you with great enthusiasm, about our work together and about your work with my husband. Of course, without going into details, but in general, I share how I see it from the outside, and I feel most importantly, I feel that I no longer react the way I used to. Maybe I can even say the same words as before, but inside I no longer feel the tension and anxiety like I used to. And that for me is probably the most important thing.